Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today, guys, I'm coming at you with my June TBR. I had been doing TBRs with the kind of relaxing, cool, chillaxing vibe out in the sunroom, and I was going to do that again. And then I found myself in my computer room, and it was getting dark, and so I didn't. So if you liked the cool, like, chill vibes of the sunroom TBR, just let me know, and I'll do that next time. Sorry. And probably because I don't have, like, the physical copy of a bunch of the things I'm about to say, so it would require editing to, like, pop in like a thing, and the whole point of the sunroom ones is that I don't have to edit it. So yeah, so there it is. So anyway, and I'm so stressed out, guys. Like, whatever, without wasting any more time.
Let's get down to business.
Here's the books I'm going to read in June. And like I was saying, I'm really stressed out because this should be a time of relaxation because school is over. School's out for summer. But I don't ever stop working, and I really wish I would and relax and just read some crap. So part of it is I have a whole bunch of nonfiction that I am reading concurrently or want to read in order to, like, you know, spruce up my slides for next year's classical studies class. And so that's going to require some additional reading to add a little bit more of the narrative element there. I don't know how much I'm going to get done with that, but I should do that. But in addition, I've just finished teaching Alexander in the very beginning of the Diadochi Wars. And so I just finished a nonfiction about that, and now I'm reading another one that extends beyond that, and then I'm going to read another one. So I guess the first book that I'm going to read that will definitely be read at some point in June is Boosh, the Taken at the Flood by Robin Waterfield, ? I think that's who it is. And it is a book about the Macedonian Wars, where Macedonia and Greece ran up against the Romans. And so it's just a continuation of these long line of Macedonian wars and Greek battles that take place at Thermopylae and also Cynoscephalae, and also by kings named Philip. So I'm super interested in that, so I'll be reading that for sure. Nobody cares, so let me move on to the actual fiction stuff. So I always reach a point in the year where there are so many things that other people are reading, and there are so many things that I want to read to kind of, like, participate because my FOMO is getting out of control, or I've now committed to too many things, to where the things that I want to read are legion. So there are many of those. So anyway, here are the things that I'm definitely going to read in June, and then I'll talk maybe about some of the stuff that I might read in June. And so first thing that I'm definitely going to read is Boosh. This is a labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery. This is book 2 of the Risen Kingdoms trilogy by Curtis Craddock. So we had a live show last month about, what was it called? About Alchemy of Mask and Mirrors, which is book 1 in the Risen Kingdoms trilogy. And I should have read book 2 last month, but I didn't. So I'm reading it this month because this read-along started in April. It's supposed to conclude this month. So the problem is am I going to actually read? We'll definitely have a live show for this one in June, but almost certainly won't have a live show for the third one in June. But will I actually read the third one in June, or will that roll over into July along with the start of the new read-along in July? Who knows? All I know is that I will be reading it, Anitha will be reading it, and Sarah from Sarah Reads will be reading it, and we'll be having a discussion. If you missed the last discussion, tune in for the first 5 minutes to see Sarah make fun of my French pronunciation, and then I take that and run with it and just pronounce things terribly, including how a French goose would sound. If you are unaware, it sounds like this. Le hon, le hon. That is a French goose. So yeah, book 2, I can't really talk about it without talking about book 1, but I think it is, I'm actually hoping that it's kind of a standalone kind of narrative after the first narrative is wrapped up. I hope that's what it is, and it's not something else, but we'll see. Next that I'll definitely be reading, Boosh. This is Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield. This is a standalone, glory be, and it's only like 300 and something pages, glory be. It is about the Battle of Thermopylae, not glory be. Thermopylae is if anybody knows anything about ancient Greece, they know even more than Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Athens. Even more than that, they know Sparta, and they know Thermopylae. and that's it. Like if you were to ask someone and they don't know anything else about Greek history, that's what they know. They know Sparta and they know bloody Thermopylae, and this is the first Thermopylae, not the many of the Thermopylae that came later. There are a bunch of battles of Thermopylae because Thermopylae is really the only way to march a land army from northern Greece, from Thessaly, down into southern Greece. So you kind of have to go through Thermopylae. That's why there's so many battles there, because you bottleneck them there and stop them. And that is what the Spartans in coalition with other Greeks. There weren't just 300 Spartans there. There were like 4,000 Greeks there, but there were only 300 Spartans. And at the same time, Athens and the other part of the coalition were having a battle at Artemisium, which is right off the coast, at the same time, fighting against the Persians. And so the goal was to stop stop Xerxes and his Persian hordes from descending down into southern Greece. And it doesn't work because Xerxes has too many guys, and they're betrayed. There's always betrayed. Don't worry, guys. If someone is holding an impenetrable position, one of two things are going to happen. This is always in Greek history. One of two things will happen. One, there is actually a secret passageway around the back, and they'll be betrayed. Or two, no one is guarding the scalable cliff face at the rear of the city if it's on top of a mountain. One of those two things will always happen. So, spoiler alert, they lose at Thermopylae. But if you've seen 300, you know that, though the Persians are not, in fact, an army of giants, and Xerxes is not Dalsum from Street Fighter. So, I am reading this, whatever, that was a really long introduction to this. I've heard this is this is one of the best standalones, historical fiction standalones ever. We will see if it lives up to that. I have been bullied into reading this with Theo and Alex and Kev and Joanna and whoever else is reading it with us. But yeah, I'm reading it because I don't want to be left behind, and I don't want people to be talking about it without me being able to well, actually, oh my gosh, please don't let me do that. Please don't let me do that. Anyway, I'm super excited to read it. It'll go fast. I've been loving historical fiction recently, so I can't imagine that I don't like this unless it's just a snooze fest. And then finally, the last book that I will be definitely be reading is going to be Boosh. Pointing the wrong way. Boosh! I don't have the book. This is the Judas Blossom by Stephen Arian, and this is the first book in his new trilogy that is coming out in July. And I signed up to read this arc a long time ago, and I've got it on an ebook, and the reason I put it off till now is I was waiting for like a physical copy. Like, they asked me if I wanted a physical copy, and I said yes. But then people went on vacation, and whatever. Like, I'm not owed anything, so I didn't actually get a physical copy. But I was waiting for that. But now it comes out next month, so I definitely need to read it before it comes out. So I'll read it this month. This is about the Mongols against the Persians, and what I am hoping that Arian can do is to make me give a crap about the Mongols, because I don't like the Mongols. I don't care about the Mongols, and a large part of that is that I don't know a ton about the Mongols, and because of that, I don't care. But I do know about the Persians, and I like them unless they're, well, I like them even when they're against the Greeks, but I don't like the Mongols. So I'm rooting for the Persians, but we'll have to see. I'm hoping that one day I learn about the Mongols, then I can care about the Mongols. But currently, I don't care about the Mongols. Mongols are stupid, and I just don't care. I don't care. Oh, Genghis Khan. I don't care. I don't care. Crash Course, I know. They're the exception, but I don't care. So, I have heard great things about this. I'm really, really hoping that I enjoy this, because most of my historical fiction, it's also really hard for me to enjoy historical fiction that is not in a time period that I typically care about, or I'm typically very enthusiastic about. That's why the historical fiction I read tends to be Napoleonic Wars, Ancient Greece, Ancient Rome. And that's basically it. So if I can end up enjoying historical fiction about the Mongols, and in a time period that I'm not super interested in, this is like the 13th century AD, which is not generally, a period of history that I'm super interested in. If I enjoy this book, I will be out singing its praises, because a historical fiction that makes me like that kind of stuff is definitely something that other people should read, especially if you do care about the Mongols or do care more about that time period. And so those are the books that I will definitely be reading. And so here's some books that I will be reading, maybe part of, or if I have time, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so the first one that I'll probably read some of, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish it all this month, and that's going to be The Profit of Idan by Philip Chase. This is book 2 in the Idan trilogy, because Philip is an unreasonable person who is releasing an entire trilogy within 9 months. And therefore, what are you doing to me, Philip? You're killing me. Self-published authors, again, listening to me. And this goes for you, Thiago, also. One a year, guys. One a year. More than one a year is too many. It's too many. It's too many. Batiste, you too. Way too many books, guys. Like, I can't read them all. Like, I can't do it. So it's a continuation of The Way of Idan, which I enjoyed greatly. And again, if you're not aware, I will be doing the audio on those books, and so I've got to read it because I got to do the audio for it. So I'm excited where book 2 is going to go. I think there's going to be a lot more that is right up my street, as you Brits say, or in my bailiwick in this second book, as opposed to the first one. So I'm pumped to read some of that. In addition, I have to, speaking of Batiste, I have to read Heroes of Chaos, which is book 2 of the Three Kingdom Chronicles with Decology, 10 book series. I meant to read this back in March, and I just lost track of time. But again, this follows the. This is a historical fiction set in the Three Kingdoms period of China, and I really like book 1, so I'm hoping to like book 2 as well. And I got to, because book 3 is coming out soon. Y'all are killing me, guys. Y'all are killing me. In addition, Ben and Grace have begun a Long Price Quartet read-along, and guys, if you've been watching my channel at any length of time, you know that Long Price Quartet is one of my favorite series. I talk about it all the time, and I so badly want to reread these books. So I want to read Shadow and Summer, and I was going to read that like literally next, but I really need to read My Obligations first, and if I have time, I might read Shadow and Summer again because I love it, and I'm due for a reread. Additionally, I'm going to read, I just finished Taipan of James Clavell's Asian Saga, so I'm going to read Gaijin soon. I'll either start it this month or next month, and I'll do what I did with Taipan, which is listen to it and read it. Like, listen to it when I'm commuting and read it when I'm at home. Man, I forgot how much I loved the Asian Saga, and I know a lot of people didn't like Gaijin. They think it's boring, but I really liked Gaijin when I read it, 20 years ago or whatever. So there's that. There's also a couple other self-pub novels that I'm interested in reading, but I'm not gonna have the time. I also want to read whatever. I'm getting too much. The other thing I might read is Before They Were Hanged, because I just finished The Blade itself, and I ended up enjoying it at the end. And I would like to, carry momentum through and read Before They Were Hanged. I don't think I'm going to get to it this month, but I will definitely try to get to it soon, so that it's not, 6 months and I'm just reading book 2. So yeah, I have so many other historical fiction, or nonfiction. I got one about Themistocles. I got one about Pericles that Genius Allen said was a nerd book. Another nerd book! And he's right. As well as, the Peloponnesian War book, also a nerd book. Another nerd book! And I got one about Cyrus the Great coming. Oh my gosh, it's just too much, guys. It's too much. In addition, I want to read about the Opium Wars. I need to never do anything but read, ever again. So yeah. So that's what I'm reading in June. And I've got my buddy Finn coming at the very end of June, so that shouldn't affect June plans, but it's definitely going to affect July plans, because I'm also out of town for like 2 weeks in July, week and a half of July, and my buddy's here for the first week and a half. So like 3 weeks of July are kaput. 2.5 weeks of July are like kaput. Oh no. Anyway, those are my reading plans for July. What are you guys reading for June? What are you guys reading in June? What are you most excited to read? Are you guys ramping up for the big Red Rising new book, Light Spray Springer, in July, which I will not be reading in July, though I do want to read it. I just need to catch. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll listen to Red Rising on audio. That'll take me months. Oh my gosh, is that what I want to do? Is the Red Rising audio good? If y'all read those, are those books good? Anyway, I'm literally talking to nobody right now. I'm talking to like an empty room. At any rate, let me know what you guys are reading in June. I hope to be a little more regular with mine vids in June. Now that I am not at school, I just need to get in a good habit of like being productive and not just sitting like a slug all day. So yeah, that's it for me for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, information on my Patreon and Discord. In addition, I forgot this last thing. I'm also reading the first 21 chapters of Vagabond with Jimmy. So yeah, we'll talk about Vagabond, because I really like the Sengoku era of history, even though this takes place after Sekigahara, which, may or may not end the Sengoku era. It might be 1603, it might be like 3 years later, 12 years later. Whenever the Battle of Osaka is. Is that in 1612? 1614. Some people put the end of the Sengoku period at 1614 with the fall of Osaka Castle. Regardless, I'll be reading that, and we'll talk about it somewhere. So, at any rate, now that's it for me for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Information about as always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.